So, just a little on what the OnlyFans is about. This is pretty much, I don't know, something of the range of body parts that I decided to do from a certain point on. When there is, of course, a certain freedom and liberation that can be expressed, and that is a part of it, of course. But the basic offering and gift is a full course in transcending through the body. Because in Vamamaga, Vama was something that was not even fully accepted or considered a good thing in India. Because they ate meat, they drank, and they had sex and sexual practices. So it was called the left-handed path. And then, similarly, you find a lot of the Vama techniques in the Egyptian as well as in alchemy, as well as in the Taoist white Tantra. And although I said, I have stopped doing Tantra in person because at this point, I'm going for the crystallization of the energy body. And so there is, there's way too much energy work that has been done. There's too much that has happened. My Michael Jasso's music was right in sync with me. It's getting louder. But there's too much that has happened at this point to where I've done way too much energy work. Not too much. There's never enough. But at this point, I don't really want to mix my energy with everyone, or it's just very select. And at this point in the game or in the practice, whatever you choose to call it, in my life. And so online, I had enough information there that it survived with no posts and telling people, please, just forget it, turn it off, leave, please. I don't want to shut it down with people still here. And people stayed because there is enough to continue working the techniques and to continue learning and expanding. But then I was really touched by people even buying certain things to be able to be on that particular OnlyFans. And with the Patreon, I was kind of in and out because it's just so much material to create, content to create, that it can be very overwhelming. And I didn't do everything that I've done for content creation. It was for my path. And as a medicine woman and traveler, and as a guide. So the goal is not content creating per se, though so much has been created. I did, continue it, and so a little renewal on the content, because the shamanic is part of my path as well, and I am from indigenous bloodline and descent. The shamanic is very much present in this as well. The Kodoshka medicine women and the Gual Indians of Mexico have such beautiful, beautiful gifts and knowledge drops regarding sexuality and how it is so similar to nature itself, and how it is nature itself because we are nature. And just the learning of the body parts and of the essence of us from a different perspective, and seeing sex and sexual energy as something very, very different, and embracing that and having fun with it, and maybe adopting, resonating with certain things and adopting them into your practice might be the most that'll happen. Or maybe just to smile at, I never looked at it that way. The other things are the biological, the chemical, and the neurological that goes on while the heightening of the sexual energy is going on. Not during sex, during the heightening to that experience. Also, how the orgasm isn't something that you give one another. And the steps of the orgasm, and how the shaking and perhaps the fluids are only stage maybe 3 or 4 of the orgasm of the woman, which has about 8 or 9. And it's condensed, but it is in a way that you can read it, that you can embrace it, that you can learn about your own orgasm, ladies. And also for the men to know that, no, that's not the end. And about the men as well. There is semen retention techniques. There is using that semen retention not just for raising energy, but also for transcending through the body, and for using it as a way to own the mind. Because what more fun way to learn and to own the mind, to learn about and to own the mind, than through raising the sexual energy, one of the most beautiful things that we experience in our lives. There are healing positions that you can do for men to heal women and for women to heal men. There's of course Kundalini stuff. There are new teachings that are about empath abilities. And yes, about precognition, enhancing the third eye, so much that I don't like to get into too much online in this forum, because I don't really go for the conspiracy theories, but I do teach and pass on the teachings of energy manipulation of the Egyptians, of frequency, of humming, as well as doing your mudras, of using the body as a frequency tuning fork radio signal. Tantra, Vamamarga Tantra is about making sounds as well during the act, things that will increase that flow to the direction where you want it to go. And so it is a little bit more complex than neo and modern, and it is more so a path. I don't see it as a sexual path, but a path of transcendence and ascension. So by the time Vamamarga found me, I had already been walking that path because of the shamanic, because of the journeying, because of the Buddhist influence and Hare Krishna influence, etc. So because I had made mine a worldwide shamanic path, the sexual practices of the white tigress and of many others had already come into my life and been experienced, and I had already decided this was what I wanted to go through. So I had already begun doing the exercises and the techniques and the diet of Madame Blavatsky and Samyang Ware way before I even became a very devoted Vamamarga tantric, because of alchemy. So because of using the sexual energy in order to heat up even more the Kundalini and to increase. And because I went too fast is possibly a reason for the fibromyalgia, because I too always warn about not going too fast, because it does, one of the biggest warnings of Vamamarga is that it does increase and heighten your sensitivity. You can see better, hear better, things like that. And have I used it for self-healing? Yes. Um, and so it's very different to dance the dance of sex, or to even ride that sexual energy when everything that you know about sex is proven wrong. And it's just, and it's if you can unthink everything that you thought you knew about sex, then it is so much easier to unthink anything that you knew about the world as being true or not. So it is transcending through the body. So that's what it's about. It's actually more about, what it's about, transcending through the body and finding that neutrality and being satisfied, fulfilled, being orgasmic through the breath because you're alive. And seeing people as energy and saying, ooh, I want more. Or not yet. I gotta see how this is vibing. Increasing, and it's about, both being who you are and not trying to connect more, but being that which you are and getting good at doing it on your own so that you are needless, desireless. What a beautiful thing to be with a needless and desireless lover. It is indeed. Much love. So that's what it's about.